The VA estimates 3.5 million veterans were exposed to burn pits in the last 20 years, but they had to fight to prove any lasting effects to get help from the VA. But finally, after months of legislation, the VA is finally recognizing their pain. They have linked 3 conditions to burn pit exposure and airborne hazard. That means for the first time ever, these veterans will get some disability benefit from their status. So let's go into this a little bit further with our guest, Tommy Marquez. He is the CEO of Tommy Marquez Consulting and a military and VA benefits analyst. Welcome to the show, Tommy.
Hey, good morning, Carl. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. So last year, VA denied nearly 4 out of 5 disability claims from burn pits. I mean, they just basically were like, well, we don't think this is relevant, we don't care, and we can't link it to them. I mean, that's the thing. These are the 3 on screen right now. There's asthma, and then there's these 2 other things that are medical terms that I can't pronounce. But, I mean, bad stuff. And the VA is finally recognized this. Talk about how you got this done and how this happened.
Well, the VA Secretary, McDonald, completed his first iteration of newly formed internal process of review. And what they did was they teamed up with the National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine to get this done. Mm-hmm. The concern is this gave 3 conditions for presumptive related to burn pits for veterans who were in Southeast Asia from 1990, and then for veterans who were in Afghanistan, Uzbekistan, Syria, and Iraq, and Djibouti from September 19 to 2001, excuse me. Now, the big concern is you're talking about 3.5 million veterans who are in those areas. The previous administration had really worked on streamlining the VA process. But prior to that, for instance, when I was getting out of the Navy in 2005, it took me about 4.5 years to get my VA claim done. And for it to be completely finalized was 10 years. The appeals process is a very, very slow process. So you're talking potentially years for some of those veterans. Does the VA have enough people to handle those claims, to adjudicate those claims? And for those who don't even know about this, how do they get it out to all the information to all of those veterans?
Yep. There is a catch, though. You know, a veteran is entitled to these new presumptive benefits if these conditions showed up within 10 years of their overseas service. I mean, look, I got out of Iraq in 2009, and I might not know about this for another 10 years. Shouldn't that be considered?
It can be. So the problem with the VA is like the Wizard of Oz. You have to find the right person or veteran service officer to kind of peel back the curtain so you can find out the truth about how the process works. Mm-hmm. For veterans who went undiagnosed, because let's be honest, most veterans aren't going to go to their corpsman or their medical officer to talk about, hey, I've been having a little bit of trouble with a runny nose or inflammation of my sinuses. You're just going to power on, you're going to power through. Mm-hmm. So it's going to go undiagnosed. There's a lot of people who just rather take Benadryl once they get out of the military than go to a doctor for what they believe to be seasonal allergies. And so it could go undiagnosed. Right. But a little known thing you could do with the VA is have a buddy letter. If you get 2 or more of those saying that, you had an undiagnosed condition and that you were having these symptoms for years, the VA can consider that as evidence and allow it to be used to establishing these conditions as a service-connected disability.
Mm-hmm. How do people, real quick, I got about 30 seconds left. How do people kind of start this process? How do they get in? Who do they call? Like they're sitting at home like, okay, call the VA, 1-800, not going to pick up the phone.
We can always go to va.gov to get a general understanding of how to begin the process with filling out a 21526EZ form.
Awesome. Seems very simple. Tommy Marquez, we appreciate you joining us this morning.
Thank you, Carl.
All right.